Your mortgage just got more expensive. Not because of anything you did. Not because of anything you chose. Because of a decision made by one man in Downing Street, without your consent and without a single vote in Parliament. And that man is Keir Starmer. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I am going to show you exactly how we got here, exactly what it means for your money, and exactly why this Prime Minister should be held accountable for every single penny it is costing you. Let's go. Cast your mind back to the 28th of February this year. The United States and Israel launched military strikes on Iran. Within hours, the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow strip of water through which 1/5 of the world's entire oil supply passes every single day, was effectively shut down. Now, any responsible Prime Minister at that moment would have paused, would have weighed up the consequences, would have asked, what does this mean for the British people? Instead, Keir Starmer did something that should make every person in this country furious. On the 1st of March, he gave the United States permission to use British military bases for strikes on Iran. No debate. No parliamentary vote. No public consultation. He just said yes. And the consequences? They landed directly on your doorstep. Here are the numbers, and I want you to really hear these. At the start of March, the average 2-year fixed mortgage rate in the UK was 4.83%. By the 22nd of March, in just 3 weeks, it had jumped to 5.43%. The average 5-year fix went from 4.95% to 5.45%. Those are the highest levels we have seen since early 2025. Now, 0.6% might not sound like much. But let me put that into real money for you. On a typical UK mortgage of around £250,000, that increase alone adds roughly £90 to £100 to your monthly payment. Every single month. That is over £1,000 a year coming straight out of your pocket. And it gets worse. Over 1,500 mortgage deals have been pulled from the market entirely. Barclays withdrew some of their most popular deals under 4%. HSBC and Coventry Building Society have already announced rate increases. Lenders are running scared, and it is ordinary British homeowners who are paying the price. So let me ask you something. Did Starmer warn you this was coming? Did he stand at that Downing Street podium and say, "Look, I am about to make a decision that is going to cost you more on your mortgage"? No, he did not. Now here is what really gets me about all of this. Because I want to give you the full picture, not just the headlines. Just weeks before the Iran war started, things were actually looking cautiously hopeful. The Bank of England had cut interest rates 6 times since 2024. By February, we were seeing sub-4% 5-year fixed deals for the first time in years. Mortgage brokers were talking about a slow, steady improvement for homeowners throughout 2026. First-time buyers were finally starting to see a path forward. And then, in one move, that was wiped out. The Bank of England's next decision on interest rates is scheduled for the 30th of April. Before the Iran war, markets were expecting a rate cut. Now traders are pricing in rate rises. Some economists are saying rates could climb back towards 4.5% if energy costs stay high. The dream of falling mortgage rates in 2026 has not just been delayed. For millions of people, it has been cancelled. And this is where Starmer's position becomes genuinely hard to defend. He says the UK is not involved in the war. He says British bases were only used for, and I am quoting him directly here, specific and limited defensive purposes. But if a bomber takes off from British soil and the Strait of Hormuz closes and your mortgage goes up as a result, you are involved. Your family is involved. Your finances are involved. calling something defensive does not make the consequences disappear. Let us talk about what Starmer has actually done about the cost of living crisis his decision helped create. On the 23rd of March, he held an emergency Cobra meeting. He stood outside Downing Street and said he was asking for every lever available to deal with the cost of living. He promised to support working people. Do you want to know what the government announced as their big response to families facing higher energy bills, higher petrol prices, and higher mortgages? A £53 million package for the whole country to help with heating oil costs, primarily for Northern Ireland. £53 million. That sounds like a lot until you realise that UK households collectively spend billions on mortgages every single month. That is not a solution. That is a press release dressed up as action. Meanwhile, Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, has said it is, quote, too soon to say what measures the government will take. Too soon to say. Families are remortgaging right now. First-time buyers are watching deals disappear right now. And the government's answer is, we are looking into it. I want to be clear about something, because this channel is always about facts, not spin. The Iran war was not Starmer's fault. He did not start it. The responsibility for that lies elsewhere. But what is his fault, and what I believe he should be held directly accountable for, is choosing to involve British territory, British infrastructure, and British international credibility in a war that has now directly worsened financial conditions for millions of British households. And doing it without a single vote in Parliament. The Liberal Democrats have demanded a vote. The Greens have tabled a bill requiring parliamentary approval for any British involvement in military action. Starmer has refused to allow it. He says Britain's security interests required this decision to be made quickly. But the Iraq war was rushed too. And we all know how that ended. There is a reason Parliament was designed to scrutinise exactly these kinds of decisions. Not to slow things down out of bureaucracy, but to make sure someone is accountable. To make sure that when the consequences hit, and they have hit, there is a proper record of who decided what and why. Right now, there is not. And millions of British homeowners are the ones carrying the cost of that absence of accountability. So where does this leave you practically? The experts are saying, do not wait. If your fixed rate deal is ending in the next 6 months, speak to a mortgage broker now and lock something in while you still can. The consensus is that rates could keep rising in the short term. Whether they come back down depends almost entirely on when and how the situation in the Middle East resolves, and right now, nobody knows. Keir Starmer himself told the liaison committee he cannot promise a quick end to this conflict. He said, and again I am quoting him, "We've got to plan on the basis that it could go on for some time." Some time. That is the comfort he is offering the British public. The energy price cap is forecast to jump by 20% this summer. Inflation, which was finally coming down to near the Bank of England's 2% target, is now expected to rise back to between 3 and 3.5%. UK economic growth has been revised down to just 0.7% for this year. And mortgage rates are going up, not down. This is the economic reality of Keir Starmer's Iran decision. A decision made without your vote, without Parliament's approval, and without any honest account of what it would cost the people he was elected to represent. I want to know what you think, because this is exactly the kind of story that the mainstream media is not connecting the dots on clearly enough. Do you believe Starmer should have gone to Parliament before allowing British bases to be used in this war? Has your mortgage deal been affected by what has happened this month? Drop your answer in the comments below, because I read every single one and your experience matters. And if this kind of reporting matters to you, factual, straight talking, no spin, then please subscribe to Kilometre Reports. We cover Keir Starmer and British politics every single week, and we are not going to stop asking the questions that need to be asked. This is Kilometre Reports. I will see you in the next one.